Oh, hello, and welcome to Al Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
And I'm Dr. Leviathan.
And I'm Mikey, the East ends for evil.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta. Tonight we have NoEnd House 3. So, for those of you...
Because there's just no end to the NoEnd house.
No. Except for...
Actually, it's true, because it just spoiler alert, it doesn't end.
Okay, that's true.
The saga does not end.
It's just... Yeah.
There is no ending.
It's on hiatus. Indefinitely. So yeah, if for some reason you're not in the know at this point, or if you're just joining us, go Google creepypasta. If you are a fan of the show, you've probably listened to NoEnd House and NoEnd House 2. And this is the third installment.
If you haven't, you should probably stop this one now and go back and listen to the other two, because
we'll wait.
There's continuity?
There is and there isn't. We'll get into
carry over.
Names carry over, yeah. And like their events carry over. It's just they're kind of muddled a bit. We'll get into that. So yeah, this one's by the same author as the original ones. And it's been 2 years, and this one hasn't been finished, so it's done. Like this will be the last Al Dente episode with NoEnd House.
Ever.
No. Get out of here, Captain Solitum. You're drunk. So we'll just dive right into this one. So David, from the first story, is out of the house and in a daze on the driveway. Then he realizes that Maggie, from from story 2, went into the house to save him. So she took his place, and now he wants to save her, but can't get back in. And at this point, Peter, his friend that started all this, and who died in the last story, texts him and tells him to go to an oak behind the house where there's a service entrance.
Because, majestic oak.
Yeah. He runs around the back of the house to this huge tree, or maybe it's not huge. There's this weird writing, and there is a door. Yeah.
For no reason, there is weird description of the tree when, like it's almost like where he can't decide what size it should be.
Yeah, it's like
no. You're there. It's a tree.
It may be big.
Is it big or is it normal size?
Yeah. It's not an inscrutable thing. Yeah.
I understand that, yes, perceptions can be fucked with, but, I mean, just be clear on the size of your fucking tree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Simple, right?
Yeah, exactly. At least it should be. Below the tree, there's a door, like a root cellar kind of door. He opens it up and goes down inside, and it's this putrid-smelling hallway. And as he shines a light off his phone on the walls, he finds out the hallway is made of flesh, stitched together with copper wiring. As he gets deeper, he discovers the hallway has closed behind him and is starting to seal up behind, enclose on him. And this is
sphincter, but not like a sphincter.
No. And this is where then when he meets this young teen who has blackened eyes and a mouth, like a blackened mouth, and like no teeth or like anything can be seen. And is exactly, yeah. And is at first really angry with him for coming back into the house, but then helps him to escape the hallway. And the hum has returned. So because it's the NoEnd house, the hum is a signifier of it. Using a light spell, yes, magic, and knowing which way to go, they leave the hall of flesh and climb into a large broom closet with no door. Here, Natalie, the weird teen that we've now met, explains that her family, who are witches, came to live here 10 years ago, and that it wasn't always this hellish place, this hellish maze. That her brother Peter, again, David's friend from the original stories, caused all this like problems by summoning and making deals with demons. That's about as much explanation as we get. They decide to escape the house, or try to escape the house, and Natalie uses a sigil on the wall that she then uses a spell on to open the wall. And the story ends with her saying, "I've always loved that. I've always loved doing that." And that is literally the end of the story, because it has a part 1 and a part 2, and we never get the continuation of this story.
Yeah, it has an inexplicable part 1, part 2.
Yeah.
Like,
there's
there's no real
yeah.
reason for that break to be there.
Yeah, like when I first saw it, like I skimmed through it, like just to see how long it was and stuff. And I saw the part 1, part 2. I thought part 2 might have been from a different point of view, but it isn't. It's still the same point of view, roughly, of
And it
David.
picks up right where it left off.
Yeah.
Like, there's no...
Maybe the only thing I can think of is that part 1 and part 2 were made at separate times and released at separate times.
It was originally released on a blog.
Yeah.
Which is standard practice, that if you have a story on a blog, you do this story part 1, this story part 2, then you break it up.
Okay. So like almost like a serialized thing, like that I guess Pulps used to do and stuff, and that people do now.
Well, it's a way to break it up so that you don't just suddenly give people the story all at once. You keep them coming back to the blog, but as we found out, this blog is literally dead.
Yeah, I mean, the last update, which was more or less just kind of like a weird teaser that didn't really correlate to the story aside from management, was in May of this year. So,
And it says, "Big things are coming. Yours forever, management."
Yeah, and like, all right, well, okay.
It's been 2 years.
And it's all been like 2 months at this point, so it's like, moving on. So, yeah, that's the end of the story, the rundown. My thoughts on it, it starts off strong. Like, I actually liked where it was going at the beginning, but there were some like kind of glaring plot holes at the beginning as well. And then it just kind of went sideways as it went on, because it starts off like, again, kind of the same thing, creepy horror elements, has to get back into the house and stuff like that, and the cool creepy flush hallway. But then they add magic and exposition about the origin of the house, which to me was kind of lackluster. So it kind of became this dark fantasy kind of thing, or like seemed to be where the author wanted to go with. How does David know Maggie was in the house? Because at some point, at no point in the second story do we see that David knows about her travels.
Well, but he was aware of the texts that she was getting from his phone because he had them on his phone.
Okay, that is true. I forgot about that. Yeah,
when he goes to reread them, they're blank.
But before he goes to his phone to see that, it blatantly says that, "Oh, I just remembered that Maggie went to save me." Like,
what?
It's before he checks the text that he has that revelation.
He did know it because he knew
about the text. He checked them and they were gone.
Yeah.
He had already read them. He wanted to like go through them again and I guess probably text her.
Yeah.
I don't know. In my opinion, no situation calls for actually calling a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Than NoEnd house.
Yeah. Although the thing you have to realize that starting at like the first one, NoEnd house has no cell reception.
Unless it wants to.
Yeah.
Because it is this is a house. This is a house that fucking does whatever it wants with the laws of anything.
Reality.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I mean, if it wants to have cell reception, I have no doubt in my mind that NoEnd house is powerful enough to just spontaneously have cell reception.
Yeah.
Like, it could be in a literal dead zone of cell reception, and it could still have cell reception.
Yep. Yeah. There's this moment reading the scene about the oak tree where I was just like, this really, like, why is this so weird to Dave? Why, like, this didn't really need to be
weird,
written this way. Yeah, like, it could have just been a large tree that he just didn't notice in the background. Like, just like
it's
like,
behind the fucking house.
It's a paragraph almost, like, just like it's like, oh, like this huge, like, massive tree. How did I not see it? But is it massive? Is it just my perception or something? It's like, I guess it might have been like a hint of like, oh, you're still trapped in the house kind of thing, but. Again, like, the story doesn't go far enough to, like, hint, like, to go with that. Or have that revelation.
It goes part way and then just stops.
Yeah.
It doesn't finish creating that, oh, I'm still in the house.
Shit, yeah.
You know, like, because there's no escaping the house. And, like, yeah, just so much.
Yeah. I really did like the flesh hall. I actually thought it was really well described, and I enjoyed that part of the read. It's cool, creepy, and a new space within the house that we haven't seen before from the previous stories.
Yes, because if this had been a third person going into the same fucking 9 rooms,
I would.
It would have been tedious.
Yeah, but we added a new space because it's now and like I liked that aspect. He expanded a bit. Like he didn't do the same thing over again for the third time.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the way that new space interacted. I also liked the description and the initial appearance of Natalie. But I will admit the explanation for her connection to the house and its hellishness, as well as Peter's relationship with her, kind of ruined any creepiness this story had and the house had for me, because like primarily the manner of the exposition that we get from her. Like I didn't like the high.
Really? Because now we have witches and demons, and like it's not just a house. It's There's more. Captain Slam is going to love me for this one. I liked the inclusion of that backstory and the magic and the demons. Like, NoEnd House finally started getting good, and it just ended.
Wow. Okay. So I enjoyed I enjoyed the expansion on it. I just didn't like. I don't know. I guess I just wanted it to be more Lovecraftian. Is really what it boiled down to. Like the house itself to be something that has cycles and not just some family of witches made it. Like wizards did it.
Not even a family. Just
one witch or one warlock.
I like the idea because with the inclusion of all of that, it's in this world witches exist, and for the most part, they're benign. Mm-hmm. You know, they just exist. You know, they do their thing. They don't eat children. They just, they work a little magic. They have fun with their lives. But then one asshat creates this horrible, horrible thing, and that I appreciated that. I don't know. It added to the world without necessarily taking it out of the pre-existing world. Like, it didn't retcon a bunch of shit. It's just like, witches exist. You just never knew.
All right. Yeah, I can see it. I'm also just taken aback that that's something you liked about the story.
I dig I dig the demons thing.
Yeah.
I like demons. Yeah. I like I don't know. I definitely prefer the almost high fantasy of it.
That's where,
as opposed to the it just being a fucking house with rooms.
Yeah, and just being and I guess that's another thing I did enjoy. Part of it was that it kind of escalated the situation. Like it's not just a spooky death trap house anymore. It's a more down the rabbit hole. We're now being told down the rabbit hole kind of labyrinthian story.
Now it's something that needs to be fought and that can be fought.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, it's an uphill battle, but it's not just surviving it and then you're still stuck in it anyway. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of, okay, now we can fight it. Well, we can't, but David and Natalie can fight it.
Yeah.
And, there's a possibility for conclusion. I mean, apparently it's never going to come, but
there was promise.
Yeah.
There was, that's the other thing about the story. Like, I was interested to hear, all right, so now we've included magic. Let's see where this goes. I wasn't too thrilled with the exposition, but whatever, that's just my personal taste. Again, we all have different tastes on this one. But I was interested to see where the story was going to go, and then it just never happens, because the story has been 2 years running now, and nothing. So, yeah, that's really my other, my beef with it, is just that it ended, and that and it ended prematurely, because, for reasons. It's now on hiatus. That will never happen, probably, so.
Yeah.
Or maybe it will, but we're definitely not going to be doing another one.
I don't know, it's just, this is almost like a good halfway mark of a bigger story.
Yeah.
But, it's... don't get me wrong, it's still not well written, like any of the other ones. I like the idea of the flesh hall cellar thing.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to know what was down the other fork.
Yeah, there's another... Yeah,
Like,
right.
You know...
All the teeth.
It's just... Yeah, it's...
It felt very much like at that point it stopped being kind of a horror movie story and became more of like a Jim Henson horror story to me, or like The Labyrinth, or like Down the Rabbit Hole, like kind of dark fantasy horror story. Not
it became more of an adventure because again, there's like with
the inclusion.
The previous ones, it was like, well, it's a hopeless thing and it has hopeless endings, and then this one. It really has an ending, but...
There's a touch of hope.
You can see, there is a course of action that could be taken to where this house is stopped.
Yeah.
And Peter is stopped.
Yeah.
And what have you.
Who knows, maybe Maggie can be saved, and David can escape, and Natalie can possibly escape as well.
Or what I would see more likely to happen is sacrifice her in the final.
That's kind of what I saw too. Yeah, my thing with Natalie is like I would have either liked to have seen her as an ally, a temporary ally, where she maybe backstabs the group at a later time, or does do a sacrificial thing at the end.
What would have been better is if she had have been. I mean, now this would have taken way more forethought than any of these entries have ever had. But it would have been better if she had been an entity throughout all of them.
Yeah, so
like I actually, when I first saw her, like
the first two,
it comes up. I thought it was the demon girl.
Demon.
Yeah,
that you look at her and you're like, it's not quite demon, not quite girl. But
it's like
it looks like a girl.
They're sharing the same space. Yeah, I actually thought it was going to be her that was running up the hallway to meet him, and it was like, and then it wasn't. It was like, oh, this a new character has made to the scene. And she's also kind of creepy because. Again, blackened out eyes and blackened out mouth. But yeah, Mikey?
Well, we've touched on most of the things that I have written here. One of the things that I found annoying was the supposed lack of continuity between this and the second one. Because at the end of the second one, David's walking away and Maggie's there at the door trying to open it, and then... In this one, which is the continuation, David doesn't make it to his car, but goes back to the same door to try and open it, and doesn't see Maggie.
Again, the powers of NoEnd House.
Yeah.
I've watched way too many horror movies and haunted house movies and read way too many haunted house stories to not just believe that she can be there banging on the window and that he can be there trying to open the door and that...
And they're seeing different versions of themselves.
For all intents and purposes, they might as well be worlds apart.
Yeah. Hell, Silent Hill the movie did that.
But, I mean, these stories have never been very good for maintaining their continuity between them. Because I think we have the exact same thing between NoEnd House and NoEnd House 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The only other thing I have here is purely speculation, is that it wasn't Peter that sent the text message, but Maggie, as management, as a management number, because she's management using the same phone number as management did, which is Peter. The only problem is that it's in Peter E's, which is, come on back, man, she's in here.
Yeah.
It's like, I came back to save you type thing. Or it sort of almost comes off as Maggie, but not.
Again, it could have been an interesting twist at the end. Like he's trying to save Maggie, and then it turns out that Maggie was the new mastermind of this one. I could see it. Yeah. And like I said, like we said, the story has been 2 years since any update, aside from last month, or like 2 or 3 months ago. And from what I gathered on the comments, I think Mikey as well checked it out. There's a lot of criticism and backlash from this story from commenters, and I think I could totally be wrong, but I think what happened was that the author kind of lost a little bit of faith on his story, and so he kind of just gave up for a while. And maybe to try and fresh anew, like he's been promising. But otherwise, like, yeah, like a lot of the there was a lot of hate comments on the for this one. Like, it's like, oh, you should have just stopped at the first one, or you should have just stopped at the second one. Why is, like, blah blah blah? Why
no. If he was going to stop after the first one, he should have stopped before the first one.
I thought you liked the first one.
I liked aspects of it, but it still wasn't well written or anything. And it's just, yeah, I'm just sick of NoEnd House. So I hate them all at this point. Except for the one that we don't have, which is the continuation of this one. Because I would totally, like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna, I shit thee not. Fucking, what's his name? Brian blankety blank?
Russell?
Yeah, Brian Russell. If you are listening to this, finish it, because it's just getting to the fun part. And
yeah, like, he's escalated.
And if he's like me when I write, it's already written. Even if he hasn't put, pen to paper or finger to WordPress, it's written in his head. Mm-hmm. He knows what's going to happen, or at least like he knows the points, the beats that are going to get hit. And yeah, finish it and post it, and regardless of what the cultist says, we're gonna do it on the show. Eat a dick. You eat a big bowl of dick.
He's pointing to me, audience, not anybody else. And I'm glaring at him. Alright.
Well, you're the one saying we're not gonna do any more if he keeps writing, but honestly, like, it's getting to the good part. Like, I like the change that's coming.
Alright.
I don't
never cease to amaze me, Dr. Leviathan. Oh, damn it.
I am a constant well of surprise.
I think you're just a cunt.
Well of surprise.
Why couldn't it be the magic of a cigarette talking?
No, you go back to your corner, Countess Lenham. Yeah. Alright, fine. We will do another one if Brian finishes this story, as said by Dr. Leviathan, because this is somewhat of a democracy.
A democracy where I rule with a stainless steel fist.
And a bowl of dicks.
Those are my prizes that I hand out to those who are worthy.
You hear that?
Worthy of my ire.
But anyway, inner conflict aside, I don't know if I'd recommend this one or not.
Oh fuck, I can't.
And,
I like the direction it's going.
In its current state,
yeah,
of unfinishedness,
I can't recommend it,
and
as
the fact
it
that
is.
it's not a full story.
Yeah,
it can't be recommended.
I mean, if it ever got finished, I might be able to. I really might be able to. But as is, like, even though I'm kind of jazzed about the new direction, because I don't care what people say in comments.
Yeah, I feel like, actually, another thing to Brian, like, I feel like if that is the case, I don't know if it is, it might not be. Don't listen to people who are just trying to, like, troll you, essentially. Like, I read some of them. Like, some of them are just kind of like, wow, you're really just kind of. I mean, like, we're a critique show, pretty much on this podcast, but we don't do it like to troll and hate people. Like,
no.
So
we do it because we find it entertaining.
And I mean, we do find goodness in
that,
most of the stories,
and I don't. So. Any writer who stops because someone's saying "boo" or "boo earns," I just that chaps my ass. It's like, you know what? Regardless, like, if that is why he stopped or why there isn't more yet, and I'm not saying that it is, but
because we really don't know. But
if that's the case, then that's the worst reason to not continue.
Yeah.
Because
you take the criticism, you either ignore it or you build on it.
Yeah, or you
take it to heart, or you ignore it completely. Because like you keep going. Like, if you have an idea, you have a goal, you keep going to it. So
exactly, and I mean, like, with writing, you're never going to please everyone. There's no perfect story, and I mean, we're talking about creepypastas here. The bar is fucking low. You know, like, and maybe it's just my need for closure. I don't know.
Again, I'm just...
Because it just fucking ends. But yes, what we have here is it's shitty because it's not even half a story.
Yeah.
I genuinely I can't recommend this, but
You might be able to recommend the full story when it comes out.
exactly.
All right. Mikey? Oh, I guess we did kind of all say
Yeah,
it.
we all said
Sorry.
it. In its current state, we're not recommending it because it's not finished.
But if it were to be
But
finished,
if it were to be
would you-
finished,
maybe. That's all
well,
I'm asking for. Is a maybe.
potentially. It depends on the ending.
Yeah. Like, again, I like Natalie, like the character that we've been presented, because she's kind of cool, and she's also kind of creepy.
She also has a level of competence that
Yeah.
no other character in any of the previous stories has had.
Yeah.
She knows the story. She
Yeah,
knows
she's
what's
been
going on.
She's lived this for, like...
Yeah,
almost
she's
for-
aware of what the score is,
Yeah.
and she's aware that, okay, we got no timeouts left.
Exactly, yeah.
Sports metaphors.
Go, my favorite sports team, go! But yeah, and then, so... Yeah, I would like to read the rest of this, even if it is not what I had expected NoEnd House to end like, or to be about. But all right, God, is that really it?
Well, it's a short,
It is literally just
short, unfinished story.
Yeah,
I mean,
There's not much else to
isn't
say,
much
so-
else to say other than finish it because
yeah, that's really it.
What's
Also, hey, no,
here isn't overly offensive. I mean, like...
There's that oak tree thing, but that could
Yeah.
be easily, like, honestly, that could even be fixed. But
Yeah, that just
also,
needs an edit.
no time, no like direct time like periods aside from like it seemed like ages, but that's about it. I thought that was a win.
Yeah, we didn't know how long he was walking through the tunnel before Natalie showed up.
Yeah, but there was
Or
no
how
end.
long he's been walking to his car.
And it doesn't fucking matter.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, that's one thing to take to take from this is like,
There's been an improvement.
yeah, exactly.
Because, fucking concrete timestamps are unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like, completely unnecessary in a story. Because, honestly, it's like, I felt like he was walking through, down that hall for, maybe an hour.
Yeah.
But I wasn't told he was walking down there for an hour.
Yeah.
Maybe you felt he was walking down there for hours.
Yeah. But
That's fine. Maybe
it's all
someone
left
else
for
was
the-
like,
yeah.
oh, he's been walking down there for fucking days, man.
Yeah. It's one of those things that like
It's open
left
to
the reader.
interpretation. It's
Or it should be left to the reader.
what length of time would start to make me feel uneasy, because, for me, fuck, man, I feel like there's no way I'm still under the house. But he is. Apparently, because he pops up in the house. But
then again, as we've figured out, this house is just one big hell maze.
one big fuck you to physics.
Yeah. It rejects our reality and substitutes its own.
Exactly, and because
works.
there's no set timestamp, though, he's not telling us that, or me in particular in this example, that, I was walking down this hall for weeks. It's like, then you're dead.
Yeah. But how are you still alive?
Because that's where I go with that. It's like, I have no idea how long I've been walking. Neither do I. Probably about an hour.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
It's, I don't know, it's refreshing to see someone get better. That's probably
After
the best.
3 tries.
It's probably the best thing about revisiting, like, a series that's written by the same author is that sometimes they get better. Mm-hmm. They don't always, but, or maybe not even get better, but just drop one annoying habit.
Yeah. Improve.
Exactly.
Yeah. I also like how in this episode we've kind of gone like the board, like it's like complete contradict ourselves a couple times. It's like, I really hate this story, but I would really like to I'm really jazzed for like what's coming next. Or like, it's like, I didn't really like the witch thing, the magic thing. It's like, it's okay. Like, I don't hate the magic thing. I actually was like down for like this, like the inclusion of magic because it escalated the situation and it gave us a new like thing in this house. I was expecting Lovecraft cycles and stuff like that.
I really
and
enjoyed how nonchalantly it was just added. She mutters under her breath and then holds up a light spell, and I'm like,
yeah, that I liked that.
It just cast light.
Exactly, yeah. And then what threw me off was the exposition, because she does it in such a spunky teen thing, and I guess that makes it actually. I guess it sounds about right for how a teen would run it down. But it just seems so jarring for the story otherwise, because hearing it from again a creepy looking teen after just walking through a closing flesh hall.
And part of the problem there is that
it kind of switched tones.
The story needed an exposition dump.
Yeah,
and there's no good way to do an exposition dump.
Yeah,
but it needed one, so you kind of take what you got.
Yeah. So again, Brian, if you're out there listening to us and you haven't just turned off the podcast because we've said some what might have been interpreted as some nasty things, keep at it. If you have the rest of the story planned, write it.
Or if you have it written, post it.
Exactly, yeah. Because 3 of us at least want to see it, despite our critiques and comments. So... wow, this has been a weird episode. I never know what to expect, but never expect this. Anyway, so I guess that's it for NoEnd House for now.
NoEnd House 3.
Yes. If you like what you heard, if you didn't, if you want to send us hate mail or comments, leave them in the comment section below wherever this gets posted, whether it be on Kiwi6, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr. We're on Twitter at Dr. Leviathan and Review Cultist. You can also send us emails at aldentebrigamortis@gmail.com. That's ALDENTERIGAMORTIS@gmail.com. Where you can also send us suggestions for other creepypastas you'd like us to discuss on the show.
Or the rest of this one. I'm looking at you, Brian. We're also, on a first-name basis.
Yeah, apparently.
I call him Brian. He calls me Doctor.
Leave us a review on iTunes. That'd be awesome too. And if you'd like, you can donate. Go to crazonstudios.tumblr.com, where you can check out all the title cards for each episode. And on the side, there's a little donate button. So until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm still Dr. Leviathan.
And I'm Mikey. The E stands for evil.
And this has been Al Dente Brigamortis. Sleep well.
I'm not kidding, Brian. Finish. Atomic chainsaw for the win.
Yes. 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 Yes.